Right. All right, all right. Hey, New York City. No, we don't do that anymore. We're not a rock star. Anyway, welcome to OnSet. I am Daniel.
Way to go.
We always start off strong here. Here with Marissa, sets on the Mighty Mix. All right. Today we're going to talk about different kind of portrait lighting techniques. These are 3 styles, if you will, of lighting that I get requests for a lot. That is to say, when I shoot people with these styles of lighting, people are often like, I want a shot like that, you know? So we're not talking about, you know, oh, it's because it's got bubbles or it has a smoke ninja. We're talking about just styles of lighting that can work for a lot of different types of people. No special effects here. We're just doing this. Well, I don't mean that. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. I'm not, anyway, so no cans of air going on here. No costumes. No, we're gonna walk through. I think I'm gonna try to use the same lighting modifier for most of this, or at least half of this. And I'm gonna walk through kind of what the differences are because they're subtle, I think. And when you pick them up, you'll be able to kind of utilize them yourself. So these 3 shots, you know, that I have here in my catalog are basically 3 of my images that I've shot. And over the years, I get asked for shots like this a lot, right? So what makes these shots interesting and different, right? They're all somewhat similar because they're my shots, right? So I mean, they're in my style. Here we have a really super clean headshot, right? Really super bright and clean. Here we have soft, but with a little bit of kind of mood, right? And then here we have something that's a little more punchy with shadows, right? So it's all shot pretty simply, you know, just head and shoulders for the most part. So we're gonna kind of be able to recreate that here. Obviously not the backgrounds and all of this stuff, but kind of the lighting patterns, okay? So we're gonna walk through, I think we'll do this one last because I'm gonna use a different softbox for this. But let's start off with the most simple one because this is the most practical one. You wanna shoot headshots, you wanna do clean corporate shots, this is basically a good setup to do that. So what makes this, forget about, oh, this is the trending modifier or this is whatever. What makes this work, right, is that it's basically just big, open, flat light. This particular shot is just the windows in my studio. So I can't do that here. If you want to come rent our studio, no. But we can create light like this, right? Big, open, flat, non-directional light for the most part with a little bit of spice, right? And we're gonna do that with just what? What are we gonna use for that? What's gonna give similar light to this? Like a softbox, right? But a large softbox, right? Big, because what makes the light kind of non-directional and soft is that it's large, but also it's kind of bouncing around, right? So in an ideal world, you'd have like white floors and a white ceiling, because that's what I have here. But if somebody's looking at this shot and they're like, I want something like that, I'm gonna lean towards a large modifier. I might do a 4-foot frame, I might do 2 umbrellas, I might do an octagon, which is what we have here. So this is a 4-foot octa, it's gonna be anyways, right, in a second. And it's just a big light source, right? Yeah. So that's gonna pop it open because he doesn't want me to break it, which is probably smart. Right, this is the
MO, man.
I definitely do. Now, granted, the original shot I'm showing you is on a white background. We're on a gray background. I'm not gonna make it white. We're not gonna play with that today. You could do that by lighting the background. You could just simply use a piece of white paper. If you're shooting against seamless paper, let me go on the seamless lecture now. We love to do demos, myself included, where we're like, hey, gray piece of paper, we can do all kinds of stuff, gels, LEDs, exposure. But the reality is if you're shooting and you want a white background, start with a white background. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. So I'm just gonna say that. We're not gonna go for a white background because I don't feel like dealing with that. All right.
Give me the ball.
Right. Listen, you're lucky I got here today. All right, so.
You came from upstairs. You literally came from 2 flights up.
I had to put my backpack on and walk down the stairs.
He showed up and said, "You're welcome." That's
Right.
what happened.
All right, so this is just a big wash of light, right? In order to do that, we want the light to basically not throw too many distinguishable shadow patterns. So we're gonna keep it kind of flat. I don't wanna keep it completely flat to the subject because that might come off a little bit boring. So we wanna have a little bit of an angle. So I'm gonna raise the light source so that normally when I'm doing this, I want the center of the light to be above the subject's eye line. That's kind of general lighting idea. I'm not gonna go much above that though for this because I want a little bit more kind of wash, right? So I'm just gonna go a little bit higher than that and we'll do a little bit of a tilt. And mostly I do that because that's how people expect to see light, right? When you're looking at people, except in a kind of an odd situation, they're lit more or less from above. because that's where the sun is, right? I hope. if it's ever not, you know, it was good to know you. So we have the light, we're gonna bring it in, we're gonna bring it in close, will make it large. Large will make it kind of wrap around. Now, because it's a large light source, it's going to, like I say, wrap around. If this was small and I brought it in close, we would get more apparent shadow because of the fall off, right? So there's a trade-off, and we're gonna talk about that when we do the shadowy shot. But let's just start here, because I think I've talked for 2 minutes without taking a picture, and that's, a little alarm is going off. Take a picture. This is a Nikon Z6 II. It's in a beautiful cage. Drop my camera one too many times. I have the 24-120 lens on there. Yeah. People always ask me what gear I'm using, so I try to get that out of the way at the beginning. Sure, with monolight. All right. Oop. This is a Profoto strobe here. The B30. This is in group C. Okay, so I'm using the remote on top. This is going to allow me to divide my lights into groups. Happens to be in group C. So I'm going to turn off A and B just in case there's any lights floating around. My camera's spinning around wildly for some reason. All right, there we go. Okay, ready? Let me line this up. All right, we'll turn it on. All right, so before we make any images here, we're going to set a baseline. This is actually something we were just talking about before the show. So, you know, all you people online miss this stuff. But you should still watch. Basically, the first step when we're using flash is going to be to eliminate any of the light that's in the space. So I do that for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is because we're doing lighting tutorials, and I want to make sure that you're seeing all the light that I'm providing. I'm not cheating. I'm not going to say which YouTube channels, but you know, I've seen many a video on lighting where I'm looking at the thing and I'm like, that light's not doing anything, right? But I've been doing this a long time. I can tell that. Somebody who's new looks at it and goes, well, that's great. Let me give you all my money for this light that's not doing anything in the shot, right? So we eliminate all the light in the space so you can see any terrible light or any great light is coming from me. You know, and I just usually blame Marissa for it. Okay. The way we do that is we set our camera up so that basically without any flash going off, the frame will be black, right? So I have a baseline here, resetting my camera. I set my ISO at the lowest within the normal range because remember, I'm trying to get rid of light. So lower ISO will mean you'll need more light to make an exposure. I set my shutter speed at the top speed within synchronization range for the flash. In this case, it's 200 of a second. This is what we were just discussing. There is something called high speed sync, which would allow you to go faster, but I don't need to do that, so I'm not going to. And then the last thing is our aperture, and we're gonna set that wherever we need to make the room dark. You know, in here, I've been here before, usually somewhere around 5, 6.5, f8. So we'll go f8 today, because you know that's nice. Now, you might be like, oh, I bought this 1.2 really expensive lens. Yeah, but the background's a flat piece of gray paper, right? Do I care if it's out of focus? What I do care about is that my subject's in focus, right? So I don't want to be shooting wide open unless I'm doing that for a special effects reason, which is fine, but I don't do it all the time. So f8 is fine for me. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a shot. Move this out of the way. Says C-STAN violation right there, dude. Everybody online, tell me what I'm doing wrong. All right, so I'm going to take a shot. Aha, what happened there? Flash went off. Pretend like that didn't happen. Okay, boom, we take a shot with no flash. All right. Now, if the shot where I move the flash to a terrible position is good later, I'll pretend like I did that on purpose. But no. So we can see here that we have a black frame. That's what we're looking for. Effectively, if I do not use flash or some other light source besides these beautiful lights that are lighting me in here, then it'll be black, which is good. Everything in the shot will be created by us. I say us because it might not be good and I don't want to take full responsibility. All right, so I'm going to grab the adjuster over here. All right, and what we're going to do is I like to see how dark I really am because I'm trying to set the baseline of my shadows. So I'm going to pull this up. Oh, I have it zoomed in. Yeah, there we go. Go back. All right. We start to see some skin tone there, which is right about there. That's basically where our shadows lie, right? Anything beyond that point is absolute black shadow. So basically, I have some room to play, right? I have almost 3 stops of room there, you know, so if in post I want to bring something up or whatever, I'm not going to start bringing up the ambient light, which again, in this case is beautiful light, but it might not be what I want, right? So we're good where we're at. Nobody look for a second, turn away. I just want to see if this is good. No, that's not bad. Okay. All right, no, it's not good. All right, so forget about that. All right. Now we're going to bring a softbox in this case, an octagon, a white octagon. It's white, right? Yeah. So what's the difference between having white or silver on the inside? That helps determine your specularity or your highlights, right? Something that is specular means bright or highlights. Something that is diffuse is spread out, having duller highlights. So since we want a more kind of even shot, we want a more diffuse light, so we're going to use a white interior. If you put a silver interior, it will be more specular. Yes, there's diffusion in front of that, so it's not as hard, or I said to use the word hard. It's not as specular as if you just use like a silver box with no diffusion in the front. So we had the best of both worlds here. All white interior plus white diffusion. We're gonna move it in. It's close, okay. Okay. Now, because I have to put the light on one side of her because I want to keep it low. We're going to get a little bit of directional shadow, but it shouldn't be too much to really affect our shot. But let's take a look and see what this looks like. Now I'm in TTL. TTL means through the lens metering. That means that when I take this shot, the little device on top of my camera is going to talk to the flash and then talk to my camera's meter, and it's all going to figure out a perfect exposure. So I didn't have to go to photo school. Okay, there we go, right. So you can see we have a good exposure, right? And she's nice and creamy and soft. However, we still have that shadow because it's on one side, right? So how do we kind of bring down the shadow? I'm gonna change my ISO. Go home. Add another flash. I could do that, but what do I have? Lots of flashes? Am I rich? What do you mean? What's that? Oh, a V flat. Yeah, you saw that there. All right, so we're going to use a reflector, right? When I'm sitting in a white space shooting my flash, it's bouncing all around. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create space, right? And we could do any number of this, right? If you want to get real, like clean, super beautiful, we could actually put below her. We could put above her. But I'm just going to put it to the side because, again, I'm not going to put too much effort into this. It's Thursday. I said it out loud. No. All right, so we're going to... All right.
You got it in the frame.
I got it in the frame, too. That's why I said...
We're going to see it, Dan.
Yeah. Fine. All right. We'll do it the right way. Actually, I'll use the V-flat. Is that going to block the camera if I do that, though? All right, I'm doing it. All right. I'm going to say right now that did say check this one to make sure it's the good one before you go, and I did not check it.
What else is new?
So this is a V-flat from V-flat World. And they're basically, they collapse. If you've never seen a V-flat before, normally they're, always tall like this. Notice how quickly I put this together. We'll speed that up in post. Okay. Yep. Grab that side of it. Thank you.
All right. So if you guys can't see, that left monitor will be the camera feed in case you guys can't see in person. You can see stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. So.
Great demo, Dan.
Yeah. So we're blocking Marissa. She's back there. Believe me.
Imagine this turned into like a magic show, like in the middle of it. That would be amazing.
There you go. You can see through the camera. There she is. She's there. We can see her there. Clap for Marissa. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna bring our reflector in, and we're gonna. All right. Marissa's looking very coy. And she blinked.
B flats make you drunk.
These pixels are very expensive. Okay. Right, and here we're getting a nice clean shot, right? And again, I can move the light more in front of her, I can move it up and down, I can change it based on the shape of my subject's face. But what we're getting here, and again, yes, I know there's a shadow on the wall. We're not worrying about the wall right now. Basically what we're getting here is this really clean, open light, right? Clean and open, great for headshots, good for everybody for the most part, right? Whenever people are thinking about, oh, you know, I have to do all this retouching or AI thing to my subjects to make them look terrible because then they look like a cartoon. You don't need to do that. Just use big, flat, soft light, and most of the blemishes and things like that will effectively go away, right? So this is a great go-to for any kind of headshot or any kind of portrait, especially people who aren't like used to being photographed. Do this first, they'll love you and you can move on. Then you can make them look terrible, if you want. Questions about this? Really simple, right? One light. Now, why didn't I use a second flash?
You don't need it.
I don't need it, yeah. So there's a reason for it, right? When you start incorporating a secondary light source into your set, you do have to worry about things like cross shadows, balancing them. So oftentimes, if we're trying to keep things simple, just going with one light and then kind of forming and shaping the light with reflectors is just a simpler and easier way and a more natural way to do it.
So the chat's asking if you could pull her away from the wall a little bit.
Oh man, if they super chat.
No, do not, guys. Don't.
No,
don't.
I'm kidding.
Don't,
I'm kidding.
Don't,
I'm
guys.
kidding.
Seriously.
Come forward. A little more. Okay. The things I do for you guys.
Daniel gets paid in black and white cookies. Don't worry about it.
That is true, but I haven't had a black and white cookie in like 3 demos because Teresa doesn't care about me anymore.
What?
Older by
That's right. I haven't had coffee in 3 demos here. I'm dying here. Okay. All right. Just because you're in Vegas doesn't mean you have an excuse. Hi. Here we go. All right. I moved everything forward. I'm in TTL. Okay. You happy? So we see a little more shadow on her face. Why is that? Because I was too lazy to move the V flat. Okay. Thank you. You ready? Do this. Excuse me while I mess around with this a little bit. Okay. Okay. What did you know? All right. I'm breaking the system.
Everyone, just imagine this. Just imagine
right,
what you're
all right.
seeing here.
Okay. So there we go. All right. She's further away from the wall. It's nice and soft. Everything's wonderful. Now, the big difference between this and the original shot I showed you is that we can see in her eyes the light source because the other one was natural light, right? So if you happen to be one of those weirdos who's into catch lights, well, I can't help you there. Go buy the special catch light modifier. No, I'm sure you're totally fine if you care about catch lights. Okay. We just lost half the audience. I'm joking, of course. Well, there's a lot of debate about catch lights, and we're not going to get into that here. Any questions? Thoughts, concerns? Nothing. All right. Easy, right? You could do that. Everybody could do this. So I broke it all down. You guys could set it back up. You're confident? Yes.
Putting a reflector on the bottom would be a bit too much, right?
Would putting a reflector on the bottom be too much? This is the subtle way that you ask me to do something. It's like, I'd like to see Daniel put the reflector on the bottom. If I ask him to do it, he might say no. But if I say, hey, putting a reflector on the bottom would make it, would it be too much? I mean, is anything too much with Marissa? Even better. Look at you. Huh? Anybody else want to add a reflector? Eric, you want one from above? All right, come in here and do it then. All right, Eric, put this reflector above her. Yeah, over. No, you got to come and hold the lower one. I'm going to do one at a time. Get over here, sir. Now, there's a lot of expensive equipment here. So don't trip anything. Get it in there.
Forget the expensive. Don't wreck my foam core, okay?
Oh,
Yeah. Come on now. Get it in there. Don't be afraid.
oh, right, okay.
Is that really where we're going to put that, Eric?
Oh, look at that.
Get it in closer. Lower. Down. Get your arm out of the shot, Eric.
Dan,
All right.
Dan, they're asking what focal length you're
All right. So the focal length I'm at is 50. Huh?
you guys can see it on the bottom of the tether screen. See that in the lower,
you go.
lower left?
Look at that.
Star. She's a star.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. All right, there you go. So, what does that tell you? Making more effort gets you a better shot. So stop being lazy, Daniel. Good job, Eric. All right. Other questions? What if we put a reflector behind her head? What if we put one over down the street? All right, so what's nice about this is even though it's like semi non-directional, like I said, the second kind of shot that often I'll work with is, I can't go, I don't know where it is. Nah, I got to do it this way. I don't know. I added it in a funny way. There it is. I didn't put it in the library. So the main difference between that kind of shot and this shot is in the sense that the main shot, the one we just did, is directional light that is bounced in to clean it up. This one is all bounce. Right? So it's got a little bit more softness to it, a little bit less three-dimensionality. It's kind of more in the shade, if you will. So let's do that. We're doing good, right? Yeah, perfect. All right. Any questions while I'm doing this? I don't think we need this again.
No.
It's gonna be very dangerous.
Need to sit there?
Is this fun to watch? Oh yeah, like this is what we came for.
Break it
Stunning
down.
stage show. There you go. Look at that. Fits right in the trunk of your car. So we're going to use the same modifier. The main difference is that instead of placing the modifier in front of our subject, we're going to basically place it behind her. I don't know what I said. You think I pay attention to what I'm saying? Step up for a second. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a mostly overhead light. So I'm going to add a sandbag. Do I want water? No, I would have loved to have coffee, but yeah, if you have water, I would love it. Thank you. That's the best.
I'm not giving you CPR, so.
Step in again. Notice I have the sandbag on here. Sandbags on the tall leg.
You got an off-topic question.
Like the Captain Morgan when you do this. Okay. Off-topic question. I love them.
So Edgar in the chat, who's in like all the chats, is up, buddy. He's shooting on black seamless paper. He's wanting to know if you use grids when shooting on black paper. He's going to be using a strip box behind them.
So what are you, it's hard because you're writing it in, but it really depends on what you're trying to do. Do you use, using grid, I'm imagining what the question is really, would a grid be helpful to keep light off my black background so it stays black? And if that's the question, then absolutely. So a grid, for those who don't know, is a device that goes on the front of your light and it narrows the spread of the light, right? Right now, my light is just going everywhere. If I put a grid on it, it will be 25 or 40 degrees, depending on the grids that you put on it. So it'll be more of a narrow beam. So if we had a black background and I didn't want this light to hit the background, the grid could help us keep it off the background. You could also just kind of turn the light off the background, but that's not always going to work as well. So yes, a grid is good for that. I'm assuming that's what you meant. And if that wasn't what you meant, then perfect. Step this way. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wash light past Marissa. And I'm thinking now, why did I break down that V flag? Because you know I'm going to use it again.
Just so I could see you do it again.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting too old for this. I need to use one of those LEDs and one of those cameras that's like really high ISO. Look this way. Look that way. Perfect. Do the hokey pokey. All right, so in this case, again, once again, no flash. We get a black frame, right? That's where we're at, right? I always want to remind you of that. Now, I'm just going to come in and shoot this raw. What's going to happen is we're going to get lots of light that's going to go past. Here, we're going to have to switch out of TTL probably to start really tweaking this because what's probably going to happen is our hair is going to be too bright. But let's just take a shot because if it's perfect, I don't have to do any extra work. Yeah, okay. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And that's pretty bad, right? So what's happening, right? The light's coming in and it's giving us a good exposure, right? Her hair is perfect. However, her hair is not the subject, right? The camera doesn't know that. The camera is doing the math. It's all mathematical, right? What we want to do is give light to where we want it, which is her face, right? The way we're going to do that is with a reflector. So we're going to use reflected light. A V-flat would have been nice, but we're going to use this. I think we will grip this one, but let's just start here. And we're going to basically bring this in. And I'm going to leave it on TTL for a second, but I am going to have to go to manual. So you can see, okay, see how we're doing that, right? It's a little bit low. So we're getting a little bit of an oddball light, right? But we're going to have her turn towards the camera a little bit more. So you don't look at the reflector, look towards the camera more. Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, and we're starting to kind of wrap around. Okay, good. What's that?
Like the first one.
You like the first one? That's good. Okay, good. Thanks. All right, so did the first one before we use the reflector because I could just go home. That'd be easy. All right, so we like this first one. So basically what we're doing is we're bouncing the light in and we're reflecting it back, right? So yeah, I think we want to grip this in. We're going to throw this on a stand. Okay. And we're going to put it in nice and close, effectively creating this as our light source. This one conveniently has holes in it. Yeah, those are special holes. Aerodynamic. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I will put I wasn't going to put a grid on this, but since we had such a good question, let me just show what the grid does rather than me just explain it. So the one thing the grid will do, it is going to lower the amount of area that you have that you can use to bounce back light. That is to say, like with the open light with no grid on it, your light's spreading out all over the place, right? With the grid, because it's condensed to one area, we have to make sure, right? Your reflector's only going to work if the light's hitting it, right? So. Yes. We can just roll the reflector out, right? I know. I'm adding things to the thing. It was in the script. You should have. All right. Versus putting the grid on there. So not only does the grid make you look cooler, it will definitely narrow the spread of light, right? Okay.
You can charge extra for it, though.
And you can charge extra.
It is like the price of the box. So.
It is true, actually. The grid is. All right, here we go. So I'm going to change this up a little bit, focal length wise. Pressure raised it. That's okay. You get the idea. Perfect. That's what we want. No, so I went back just in case you're wondering, because there was a focal length question earlier. But now I'm at like 85 because somebody told me a long time ago with portraits you guys shoot 85. No, the reason why I did is because I wanted to compress the area behind her so I wouldn't get the light in the shot because it's real close to her. All right, so I will show you the difference in a second. So when you are choosing your focal length of your lens, a big part of it is where you want to stand, right? Because where you stand is going to be affect how the image feels. But sometimes you're going to do it for a practical reason. Like in this case, I was at 50 before, right? I'm at 85 now. If I go back to 50, we can see like how much more, how much more background there is in a sense, right? In order to get that same shot, I would come here. Because now I move the lights, you're not going to be able to see. But the reason why I did it before was when I moved back and zoomed in. Oh, there you go. You see how the light's in the shot? You see that, right? When I go like that, it's gone. That's why I zoomed. That makes sense? All right, here we go. TTL, grid. That's live view. Okay, so now you can see the background's a little bit darker. Because the light's more narrow, everything's more spread out. You don't like that one as much, of course. And here we're going to bring the reflector back in. And what we're really doing here is making the reflector our main light to light her face. Okay. There you go, perfect. And again, I'm still in TTL here. We're going to tweak it a little bit. Oh, she's here to yell at me. I did not call you up by name. I would never do that.
I'll save the clip for you, Teresa.
Okay. So now we got a baseline. I think it's a little bit dark. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to switch off of TTL. And when I do that, the controller will tell me the settings that it's at, right? I went to manual. So manual on the flash it is. It's at 8.6. I'm just going to give myself like a little bit more light, 8.9. Right? And basically just give myself a little bit more exposure, and we start to get this like kind of glowy shot from the back, but kind of non-directional light. See that? I mean, in this case, because the reflector's so small, you can still see it a little bit in your eyes, unlike the original shot because the floor was the reflector. But you get the idea how it's a little bit more kind of like coming through kind of almost from nowhere, right? And we can work this shot. Questions before I work it? But yes.
Is the reflector then considered the key light?
Is a reflector considered the key light? Sure. Yes. Well, yes. The reflector is shaping the front of her face, which is the main subject, so I would say yes. You could say that it's a fill light because it's filling in the shadow, but I don't think that it really is. You know, but I would accept that argument that the other light is the key light. But yeah, I would say that's key light. And it's very important to use the $4 piece of foam core instead of the $4,000 light as your source.
It's 2,000.
All right, fine, 2,000. But the softbox plus the grid adds another 1,000 too. Okay. And we're getting, you know, so you get the idea here. Basically, we have this kind of non-directional but very soft light, right? It's not directly shaping the face. A larger reflector would be even better for this. White floor, you could use a, you know, a wall would be great. But here we're getting that sense of that kind of, you know, if you compare it to this one.
You could also use white seamless paper shooting sideways.
Yep.
And that becomes your reflector, right?
That is also true. So we see the difference, right? They're both clean, but they're clean in different ways, right? You see the difference there, right? One is kind of like organically clean, like you'd see somebody in the shade, or, you know, it's like a bright sunny day and you're on the side of a building to get out of the sun, and like a little bit of light's kicking back up off the sidewalk. It has that very natural feel, where the one to the left is like, this is shot for an advertisement or a corporate headshot. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a catch light in the eyes. I know. It's fine. Yeah, it's there. I know. I tried. I didn't really try. Well, I'm not intentionally ever trying to get rid of or add, but there's definitely it's a lot less obvious here, right? And again, the larger the light, so remember that the catch light is a reflection of this light source, right? So if, like what Seth suggested, which is a great suggestion, if I had a 9-foot roll of seamless paper right here, you wouldn't see anything because your entire eye would be filled with the white reflection, which means you wouldn't see any of it. That's how we used to shoot glasses and not have reflections in them. We could. It feels like a lot of work. That's offering to do a better shot. Do you want to see a better shot, or do you want me to not have to work hard? All right, so let's see. Who raise your hands? Who wants to see a better shot? Hate you. All right, fine.
Oh, you hate me?
No, the audience I hate.
I'm the one that's got a.
He brought it upon himself. You know this, right? So what we're going to do is he's going to drop the white seamless to become the reflector. Because what are we going to use as the background? The background becomes, I guess, the wall. All right. Man, we're over here doing a good job. What is this thing? Man, the audience is really demanding. Didn't we used to have a black card?
Well, at least you have an audience, right?
That's true. That's true. All right. Okay.
Thank you for that slow.
All right. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to come in with the softbox this way. So Marissa's going to stand here facing the, don't get excited. She's not going to look at you very long. She's going to be blocked by my bad back of my head. She's going to stand here and the light's going to bounce back and fill her in. I guess you're going to be like here. Yeah.
Profile.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be a profile because I'm going to go around the front. Yeah. I know. It's exciting. We're really changing the dynamic here today.
actually shoot.
I know. Yeah.
Suggest something to the blog members.
Oh. Seth is getting back at me for all the stuff I suggest that it makes him do more work. All right. That feels about right.
Since we're going to this effort, you guys online should hit like
All right, we're going to start here,
and subscribe.
and then we'll go from there. I told you now you're looking at the back of me. I'm like Jim Morrison here.
Like Jim Morrison.
Yeah, because like in the early days, I was back to the audience.
Totally makes you Jim Morrison.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the most Jim Morrison thing I do. Okay. All right, let's just start here. The background's obviously messy, but you know, it's not going to get much light on it, so we're not going to worry too much about it. All right, but you can see here that now you mostly, well, you can still see it, but come a little closer to the background. Okay. Very scientific here. If I go any further, I'm going to have to go handheld. Nobody wants to see that. All right, bring your chin down and turn towards me a little bit. There you go. All righty. And we can see how we can also bounce. I mean, obviously, you can see the wall in the shot, but you can see bouncing off the wall becomes a white reflector, and see, as I was talking about, you can barely see the catch light, right? Because the catch light is so large. Does that make sense? Okay. And yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to not use the grid, yeah. All right.
In case you didn't catch that mumble, we're going to try without the grid, guys.
All right.
Gonna try- Let's give Dan a round of applause for actually trying something today.
You've got me.
I feel like I'm your dad at Little League. Go get him.
Thank you. That energizes me, and I appreciate it very much.
He's not going to sleep tonight. Look at this. It's like I just gave him a chocolate bar at 9 o'clock.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm unsatisfied by the background. We're going to need somebody to hold something for the background. Eric.
Clap for Eric, guys. Come on.
Come on. Get up here. All right, Eric. You're going to have to come in here.
You won a lot of raffles here, Eric. This is what happens.
All right. Don't let that thing fall on the ground. And you're going to have to get it behind her, so we're going to have to move around a little bit. All right. Go. So I'm not 100%. It's okay. That's okay. I'm still trying to get the light right. Okay, that's closer. The background is going to be garbage. It's not your fault, Eric. I mean, it is a little bit, but. All right, here we go. I'm a TTL still, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. We're getting there. Exposure's a little hot. I'm going to switch into manual. No, I was in manual. That's why. Okay. I'm going to switch to TTL. I know the composition is different, but this is just how we have to do it here. There we go. Now we're getting that kind of, you see, it's harder to see the catch light. Yeah, no, maybe. We're not using the pizza box. Go home, sir.
I charge Dan every time he uses a pizza box.
Okay, but you know, to that point, we can fill in as much as we want, right? Well, thank you.
That's
That's
actually,
actually
nice.
nice. I've been coming here for 7 years. I haven't seen a good shot yet. All right. Wow, this crew. All right, now we're getting the manufactured look again. Is that what we want? And that's what you have to decide, right? It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's very Disney princess, right? But you know, you can play it up however you like, right? You got that. You got a little bit more kind of mood, you know, and again, going back to the very first shot, I stole this technique from Seth, showing multiple shots. You have this kind of, again, that's like a really headshotty manufactured. This is kind of a beauty, manufactured, and then this is more natural.
And he didn't pull out any extra equipment. One light, octa, and kept working the principle of light. You guys get that?
Yeah.
I'll give
All right.
Dan props where it's due.
All right. So, thank you, Seth. All right. So, what's the power of the light? I mean, what? I don't know. It's in TTL. I can look at the back of the thing. But what the important thing is, it's on exposure, right? I'm not going. I'm on TTL, so I'm not going above or beyond exposure. So I'm shooting at whatever amount of power it takes me to get f8 with this camera, right? I mean, with this particular head, it's probably like about 9-ish. Oh, that's true. That 9.2, is that what it says?
He is at 8.2, but the power
8.2.
doesn't mean anything. It's just fluctuating based on the settings that you're in.
Yeah,
The exposure is in the camera.
right.
The only time it really matters if you're against the wall with all the power or none of the power.
Yeah, so if you were trying to determine like what kind of light do I need to do this, this is a 500 watt second strobe. We're at about quarter power, you know, with this, you know, in this particular setup. Okay, that makes sense, right? So you got kind of directional clean, we've got organic, and then we've got like a little bit more cleaned up Disney Princess as a bonus. Where's Akiva? Akiva said I was going to do an extra one. He was right. All right. So let's do something a little bit more shadowy and moody for our next shot. So the same principles we have here apply, right? As I said, basically how close the light is to somebody, where the light bounces, the exposure, all that is going to be the same. We just have to think about how we want the light to fall on our subject. So here I am going to switch modifiers because this is so big. Now, I could do something. Oh, should I do it? Should I just stick with one modifier? Though I think I'm going to do it. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. I thought you were back. Eric's back. All right, Eric, go sit down. You can go sit down, brother.
Eric, you were an amazing background. Thank you so much, Eric. Wow. The whole time. You're like that kid in theater class that like they just make be a shrub.
You know, when I was a photo assistant like years ago in Miami, we were doing this album cover. I'm not gonna say who before, famous musician. And in the end, the photographer went up on the roof because he loved the light. And I was the assistant. He had me hold, just like you did there, a background. And the album cover is just a black background with this person head shot in front of it. And like, it's like we were in the most beautiful place and you shot just a black background. But you know, that's what we do sometimes.
And he had you hold it.
And I was holding it. So I'm technically on the album cover. I got no extra money for that.
Well, that album cover is trying to sell that person's album, right? Not the scenic place that they happen to be
Exactly.
in, right?
It was just funny to think about how like we went out to that beautiful location just to, yeah.
Did you pull up, please? A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. All right. Okay, so if we want to create mood and shadow, what we want to do is think about, you know, again, steal this from Seth, he won't know, he won't care. The face is like a sundial, right? So it's going to throw a shadow. If I put my light to one side, I'm going to get a shadow from her nose. I'm going to get shadow on that side of her face. If I have a larger light source, it might wrap around more though. So the grid's going to help us with where the light goes, and then our placement's going to matter, right? All right, so. So I'm gonna keep the same light source. We should rename this one to just use a 4-foot octa. Oh, hold on. Battery's getting low. All right, I'm just switching the battery out over here.
No, they take it out when I was like,
Okay. Swap it out of this guy. All right, little battery change action. Okay, so I just switched the battery out. It wasn't dead, but it was getting close. I didn't want it to die in the middle of the thing. All right. So I'm going to keep the light relatively flat. I'm going to have Marissa move right up to the side of it. I think Gavin Hoey just did this in the video. Sorry, Gavin. Yeah, but this time you get to be the normal direction, not that weird face in the audience direction. Nobody likes that.
That would be again.
Yeah. Now, you were all watching this, right? When I first started, my tripod was down here. Does Marissa just keep getting taller throughout the entire shoot? She started like this, so I'd have to keep raising the tripod the whole time. Yeah, let's keep the white background. Why not make it super challenging? We'll see. All right, I think it'll be fine. So by putting the light source next to her and close, we have two things working for us. One is that it's going to be, we're going to get shadow, right? Because the closer the light falls is to the subject, the faster the fall up, right? So if we have the light close, there'll be more shadow on that side of her face by the nature of it. That's also going to help me with the background a little bit because the background's white, right? And the light being only a foot away from her, but like 3 feet from the background should help us keep the light on the background to a minimum. So let's just see what we get. I'm going to put it in TTL.
Facing away.
And yeah, look right at me. Look all moody. Chin up a little bit. Oh, nope, she blinked. Okay. All right, so we can see basically what's happened here is we have light on one side of her face, right? And not the other. And we have light on one side of the background and not the other. And you might think, well, Daniel, that's my name. Why is it that the side of the background that's closest to the light is darker, right? That's the effect of the grid, right? The grid is narrowing the beam of light so it doesn't hit the background until it's out here. So, I mean, we could turn the light, which is probably what we're going to do. I want to move it like this. Okay. So I'm going to turn it a little bit away from the background, also called feathering. You know, for those of you who like terminologies. Oh, you know what? Am I it? Oh, that's why. Okay, sorry. All right, so okay, lights out the background, right? By feathering it out. One side of her face is completely lit, the other side is dark, right? Simple. If we have her work her nose towards the light, so like this, down a little bit maybe, there we go. All right, up, there we go. Then we can see the shadow pattern better, right? We're wrapping the shadow. See the light is low, right? Remember I said before about the center of the light being above the subject's eye line? Well, when you're doing a complete half face, almost kind of like a scary, you know, or moody scene, this can work really fine. But if we want her to turn towards the light and get something a little more beautiful, that starts to look a little off, right? Why is the light so low? How come Daniel didn't raise it up like he said he was going to? What's going on here? So what we need to do here is correct that a little bit, right? We have a line of shadow. This is the reverse Rembrandt. When we have a triangle of light going, a triangle of shadow. Reverse Rembrandt is going to be the name of my memoir. All right. Yeah, towards the light level. Yeah, you can a little bit towards me. There you go. Oh. All right. So you see how by raising the light, how it looks a little more natural, right? See the difference? Low light. Raised light. I mean, obviously, it also makes her close her eyes, obviously. Okay, so let's bring the coming close. Open. Look towards me. Good. All right. So what we can get here with the eyes open is now we're getting a little bit more of a kind of moody light, right, with the shadow, but still a pretty light, right? It's pretty. It's moody. Because she's against a dark background and the original shot I showed you was a lighter background, I allowed light to hit it. I mean, she's against a white background technically, right? Right? She's against a white background, right? Is that not true? But I think we want to add something to this. What do we want to add? That's right, a reflector. By the way, at the end of this, we're auctioning off these reflectors. No, we're not. Don't say specular if you don't know what it means. All right.
The amount of time I've spent to find foam core that's accurately color temperatured and reflects the way these do. You're not.
Seth does not give up. That's too much, right? So here's the thing. Oh, they like that. Boy, you have terrible taste. All right.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So this falls back into that other category, kind of like a kind of organic-y feeling, you know. It's fine. I mean, then you're going to go into your AI software and be like, why is there a shadow going this way? It's going to confuse you. No, it's okay. If you like this, good. But I did that on purpose to show you something we didn't talk about earlier. A lot of times when you think reflector, it's just like the reflector's in or the reflector's out. But the reality is the reflector, especially when you have a lot of light to work with, like with this larger source, can be at different distances, right? The further away the reflector is, the less light it will reflect back. So we can actually control the density of our shadow by moving our reflector back. It shows me a little bit. You know, and this is something you just kind of get a feel for, you know, and you can start to bring that shadow in. So super shadow, no shadow, you know, middle shadow, right? And we can start to play with that, right? You could also use, so I heard somebody yell the word specular. We could also use a silver reflector. If we have one, yep, we do. Seth made this reflector on the rooftop in Manhattan. I did not damage this part of it. That I did. This I did not, sorry. Silver reflector is going to reflect back more, right? But it's going to be a little bit more out of control because the silver is this particular silver anyways. This is the one that's made out of chrome, right?
Yeah, so that's chrome spray paint, not silver. So it actually has metal flake in it. So it gets kind of mirror looking.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, really? You like the boring one, but this one you don't like? No, but you can see here how now we're getting a little bit. Oh, wow. Half grid. Uh-oh. Okay. That's a good idea. All right. This is an advanced technique. If you guys aren't ready for this, just leave now. No, don't leave. Please don't leave. All right. So we don't have to cover the entire box with the grid, right? We can open it up a little bit. You want to open the side towards her, you think? Or this side, right? Yeah, okay. So what is this going to do? Besides look cool. Because we know it's going to look cool, right? What's going to happen is this light here is going to be a little tight, right? So we're not going to hit the background, which was the purpose. It's also going to have a little bit of contrast because we have this black close to her skin. But this is going to give us more freedom, like more light over here that we can bounce back, which means I could actually bounce it from different places. I could bounce it from over here if I wanted to. I'm still in TTL. That gives you a clean shot, right? Boom. I can't help it. I just make clean shots. That's what I do. Yeah, without the bounce. Oh, blink, blink. Nope, there we go. I was trying to catch a non-blink. There we go. All right, no bounce. Bounce. So do you want Seth to make these for you? Yes, you do, but you're not going to get it. No, look at how clean that is, right? And what's nice about the silver specular bounce, like this style, like far away like this, is it does have a little bit more kind of life to it than just a flat bounce, right? So you got to kind of think about what you want to do. Oh yeah, that's actually kind of nice. I like both of those. I think I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it. This is the inverse square law. Okay, good. I also just felt like blocking that camera. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I'm just going to walk off now like Prince. All right, so again, moving it further away is changing how much light hits it. It's silver, light and Erica. It's silver, right? So where it falls is different than a white reflector would fall, right? It's got a different vibe to it. Make sense so far? This right here feels kind of crafted but raw, right? As opposed to a really well-crafted, perfect headshot like we did at the very beginning. And each type of shot can be used for different projects, depending on who you're shooting, what they're looking for, the style you're going for. All of them are useful for different types of people in different types of situations, or one Marissa in this case. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? No questions, thoughts, or concerns. That's pretty good. There's concerns. There's always concerns. Okay. Anything else you want to see? This is your opportunity. Right now, you have us here. No, nothing, really. You've seen everything you ever want to see in your entire life. Maybe some gels. No, go home. All right. Make my picture. I need a new headshot.
Did you miss last week? We literally did all colored light. Ah, come on, man. You're over there in the $3 bins, you know?
All right.
Okay, now
Oh,
imagine
what is happening here?
you're a painting of Daniel Norton. You're Daniel Norton, the painting.
Nice.
You cut off your head.
You cut off my head. Perfect. Okay. So
Did you just get punched in the gut? What happened?
yeah. So that's pretty good. You don't have. We'll have a little bit of reflection from the reflector. I know. I got no jaw. This light doesn't have.
Where
a
is
jaw.
your jawline, sir?
Okay, now
Wow, Seth's
All right,
criticizing.
we are off the rails.
Look,
See, he now for her, he jumps out of his seat. You
He's
see
leaping.
this?
He's not even doing it right.
Jeez, Marissa, your life.
head this way.
New profile page.
Well, that's it. This is going on LinkedIn, and we'll never see him again.
Right, no,
We'll never see.
knock out, like that.
Oh, I am. I have a double chin. I'm got out of shape.
Okay, now say, I'm Daniel.
I'm Daniel. All right. Oh.
Why are you squinting? What's on your mind?
It's a squinch.
But he
Have
already
you
has
ever
a tight
seen Peter
eyeline.
Hurley?
You don't got to do that.
He's Tyra Banksing it.
That's just how I do it.
No, that's the look you give me every time I say, you know what we should do?
Wow. Such criticisms on my personal beauty. Okay.
Personal beauty? That's a stretch.
Okay. Anything else? Nothing. Okay, good. Perfect. I will be back May 28th, I want to say. It's like a month. Yeah, because I'm going to Germany.
All right.
But I can't tell you why. Yeah, yes, because Seth couldn't go. That's why I'm going to Germany. Okay, so yeah, I'll be back at the end of May. But Seth's here every Monday. So make sure that you're watching the channel, Adorama events every Monday. Seth goes live, answering questions. He doesn't ask any questions.
I always ask, how did I get here? Why is Daniel in my life still?
But if you are local to New York, like everybody's here, people that are watching that aren't here, like today we just had a massive photo walk with OM. So there's always stuff going on here. So definitely come down to the store. The summer's kind of going to start up here. We're going to have stuff all the time. Hopefully there'll be coffee for me next time.
Don't forget the donut.
She's totally ignoring me. Okay. But thank you so much. This is Marissa Roper. Seth. No, you're not Seth. My last ex-witness. The X is silent. I'm Daniel Norton. Follow the things. I don't know what.
Guys,